Be here with us tonight.
He was not.
Yeah. Six o'clock. I'll go ahead and call our meeting to order. And we'll go ahead and get started. 6 o'clock. First item of business. I'll go ahead and call our meeting to order. Prayer and would be led by Commissioner Carragher. Commissioner Carragher, would you go ahead and open us in prayer?
Mr. Chairman, I'd be glad to. If we would, please bow your heads. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Dear God, I pray that you strengthen us to seek your will. Give us the backbone to do your will. Whom shall we fear? Amen.
Amen. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
White.
Here.
Harris. Fitzgerald. Edens.
Here.
Davenport.
Here.
Matherly.
Here.
England.
Here.
Malone.
Here.
Williams. Edens.
Here.
Davenport.
Here.
Williams. Matherly.
Here.
England.
Here.
Malone.
Here.
Williams. Edens.
Here.
Davenport. Williams. Tester. Matherly.
Here.
England.
Here. Here.
Mcallister. Malone.
Here.
Wheeler.
Here.
Williams. Edens.
Here.
Davenport. Williams. Ford.
Here.
Did you hear something?
Here.
He's here.
Okay.
Okay.
Can just barely hear him.
13 present, 2 absent.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right, our next item is determination of the essential function of the governing body and approval of this agenda that has essential items on it. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, this is Commissioner Tester. It's come to my attention that Rule 12F still needs a little work. The audit committee description still has some ethics committee references in it, back from when those committees were described in one description together. So since we're not electing committee on committees tonight because of the electronic meeting, I'd like to suggest we pull that resolution 200709 from the agenda, and our committee can work on it at our August meeting and correct that.
All right. Is there any objection to pulling that item from the agenda? And we'll go ahead and do that. All right. Any other alterations to the agenda? Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended? I guess we do need a motion to amend the agenda, don't we?
I'll make a motion to amend it.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. All right. All in favor of the amending the agenda, removing the item resolution from the Rules Committee, signify by saying aye when your name's called. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
White.
Aye.
Edens.
Aye.
Davenport.
Aye.
Matherly.
Aye.
England.
Aye.
Malone.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Carragher.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Tester.
Aye.
Mcallister.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Ford. 13 ayes, 2 absent.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That motion passes. Now, do I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I make the motion.
A motion by Commissioner Light, seconded by Commissioner Jones to approve the agenda as amended. All in favor of that motion, signify, Madam Clerk, if you'll call the roll, please.
Light,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carragher,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
Mcallister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
13 yes, 2 absent.
The agenda is approved. Our next item, we'll recess for public hearing. This is our first attempt at doing a public hearing for rezoning. I plead with you for your patience. These individuals have been notified about the rezoning by the website, and as well as these are property owners that were notified in the area as well on the rezoning notice. Our first rezoning tonight to consider is Taylor Grace Taylor and Cameron Chase is in the 7th Civil District. It's B1 neighborhood business to R1 low density residential. Susan, I'll turn it over to you to bring out our speakers if they'll give their name and their address to the clerk, and the ones that's speaking in favor of this rezoning would be our first ones to speak.
All right. I'm admitting Taylor first. Miss Taylor. She's connecting in. Miss Taylor, if you would unmute your microphone, please.
Okay, I just did.
Great.
Miss Taylor, would you give your address to the clerk, please?
Yes. You want my current address or the address that I'm wishing to move to?
Just your current address.
Okay. It is 16602 Buchanan Street, St. Paul, Virginia, 24283.
All right. Ms. Taylor, if you would go ahead and speak to us about the property here that's in question.
Okay. Well, me and my husband was under the assumption that when we bought the property that it was for residential use. So as of right now, it's commercial, and we're hoping that it can get rezoned to commercial, or not commercial, but rezoned to residential so we can put our home on the land.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us?
Well, right now we do have we've been cleared for a septic permit there, and going forward, if everything goes well, we're building permit.
Thank you for being with us, Ms. Taylor. We appreciate you very much. This is a public hearing, just a time for you to speak to the commission about what you need, okay? We'll go back into regular session in a minute. If they have any questions, they'll ask Ms. Charles, our zoning administrator. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much.
All right. The next person we have speaking on this particular property is Claire Childs.
All right.
Ms. Childs, if you would unmute your microphone.
Okay, unmuted.
Thank
right.
you.
I had a link for watching this on YouTube, but can't seem to access it. Is it not playing on YouTube tonight?
It is.
Okay, well, so I am unaware of what has already been said, just so you know. So I hope I don't repeat myself 10 million times here or repeat what's already been said.
All right, Ms. Taylor, would you give us your address, please?
Yes, my name is Claire Childs, and I live at 107 Briar Patch Court, Fall Branch, Tennessee.
All right. Are you here to speak for or against the rezoning, Ms. Childs?
Actually, I'm looking for information, to be honest with you, because it's hard to form an opinion until I have the information.
Okay.
The letter that we received dated July 21st from the county, it states that it says patio home development. Now, I have been told that that's incorrect and it is a single family home. I'd just like to confirm one way or the other.
As far as I know, they're requesting R1 residential.
Okay.
So it would be for residential development, I would assume.
They're both residential developments. I'm just curious as to if it's a single family home or a development of multiple pieces.
No, right now it's zone B1.
I know that.
Ms. Charles, could you answer that question for us, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I'll be happy to. The request is for one single family residence. I did speak with Ms. Childs earlier and advised her of the error of the letter and our office's apologies for that, as one of them did cross with the other rezoning, and apologies if I did not make that clear when I spoke with her the other day. But for the commission's information and Ms. Childs, yes, it's one single family residence.
Thank you for clearing that up for us.
Okay,
Yes.
and I did understand that when you said that the other day. I just wanted to have that in the record so that if they should suddenly decide they're going to make it a multiple units on that piece of property, I have something to say. You know, I am perfectly okay. My family is perfectly okay with it being a single family home, one structure, one home. But we are not okay with it being multiple homes.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Childs. We appreciate your.
That's not my phone. I'm sorry.
All right. Our next rezoning is the Garland Family General Partnership, and that's in the 14th Civil District. A1 Agricultural to the PRD2 Planned Residential District.
And Michael Garland is joining the meeting. Michael, if you would, please unmute your microphone.
There you go. Can you hear me?
Michael, if you would give us your address, please, to the clerk and tell us about what's going on out at Garland Farm.
Yes, sir. The business address is 213 Shadden Road. It is my intention. I'm requesting rezoning to do Willow Arbor Patio Home Community. It'll consist of 36 units. We have two house plans, one about 1,600 square feet and one about 1,700 square feet. We anticipate the sales price range of these homes to be $295,000 to $345,000. I would like to bring these online hopefully in the spring of 2021. Therefore, I'm requesting this rezoning. There will be a second phase of patio homes on this property at a later date and time. Same density, same homes.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Be happy to answer any questions.
you may stay online with us. The commission, this is only a public hearing.
Yes,
So
sir.
when we go back into regular session, they may have some questions for Angie. And if they do, if you'll just stay on the line with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Susan, did we have someone that had made an earlier comment today?
Yes, sir. I have one comment to be read into the record. This gentleman did call to have his comment read, and I have that in front of me. His name was Victor Shearer. He lives at 300 Alta Tree Boulevard in Johnson City, and he is the owner of Lot 97, which is vacant inside of Garland Farm Estates. His comment was, as the owner of Lot 97 in Garland Farm Estates, I wish to oppose this rezoning. Patio homes are not in character with the other estate-style homes which are predominant in this area. And that is his whole statement.
All right. Thank you, Susan. We appreciate helping us through this public hearing, and we'll go back into regular session. All right. Angie, would you bring us your comments on these two resolutions, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. The first rezoning for your consideration tonight is located in Fall Branch on Briar Patch Court. The request is to rezone to the R1 low-density residential district to allow a single-family residence on the property. The Planning Commission voted unanimously to recommend approval of this rezoning at their July meeting. The second rezoning on your agenda tonight is for property located on Shadden Road, across from Johnson City's Garland Farm subdivision. That request, as we just heard, is to rezone from A1 to PRD2, Planned Residential District, to accommodate a total of a 92-unit patio home development. And as noticed, there's 36 units proposed in the first phase. So that's the next step in the process, is the Planning Commission would review the site plan for that first phase. The Planning Commission also voted unanimously to recommend approval of this rezoning at their July meeting as well. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Is there any questions for Angie from the commissioners?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Commissioner Ford.
I'd like to ask a question on that first rezoning. I am aware that one unit being built, not a multiple unit, right?
Yes, sir.
That's all I need to know. Thank you.
Any further questions about either rezoning? Seeing none, do I have a motion for Resolution 2007-01?
Ms. Carragher, so moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Carragher, seconded by Commissioner Williams to approve Resolution 2007-01. Any discussion?
Call the question.
The question's been called. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
White,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carragher,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
Mcallister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
13 yes, 2 absent.
13 yes and 2 absent. The resolution passes. The next resolution is 2007-02. Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner England, seconded by Commissioner Wheeler to approve Resolution 2007-02. Discussion or questions?
Call for the question.
The question's been called. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
White,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carriger,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
Mcallister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
13 yes, 2 absent.
13 yes, 2 absent. The resolution passes. All right, our next item is a special recognition and proclamations. Mayor Grandy.
There we go. Okay. So this is our annual proclamation for the 4-H County Environment 2020 essay winners. And you can see them in your packet. Normally we would have the folks here to read their own essays and so forth, but we'll dispense with that tonight because that was not possible to get everybody together. Each of them has received a signed proclamation indicating that they were a 2020 essay winner. I think Connie Sharp is on the line with us tonight. If you have anything you'd like to say or add about how well this program went this year, please do so.
Thank you, Commissioner Brandy, and I'm more than happy to be here tonight. We didn't have as many essays as we have in the past. You know, we usually have like over 1,000 when the kids can do them in school, but we figured 179 during the pandemic when things had to be emailed or sent through interschool mail was a huge success. And the students are delighted, and we thank you as well as the Solid Waste in Charles Baines for sponsoring this program, because we need to take care of our environment, and our children are the future. So thank you.
Mr. Chairman, back to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor and Connie, for all you all do with this program. And I know Charlie Baines does throw us in some prize money for these children. And what a great job they've done. I know several of these personally. I got to meet as a school resource officer. And I know they're sharp kids. So we're excited to see them on our agenda tonight, and you'll see how they placed. And Mayor, thank you. They will each one receive a resolution from the county. So that was our plan. And unfortunately, they all couldn't be here tonight to read the resolution to them, and they've been reading their letters each year. But hopefully by next year we'll be able to do that again. So Connie, thank you again for all you do.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Chairman
Right.
Hasley, Commissioner
Yes.
Ford has a question.
Commissioner Ford?
I have a question. I just like to say, you sulfur spray, go, go, go.
Do what?
Amen. Amen.
He said, yay, Sulphur Springs. Go, go, go.
I don't know now.
I do.
See how it is. All right. I didn't see any Boones Creek kids this year, but we'll see. All right, our next item is.
I noticed that Lamar seemed to be well represented. So
Yeah, they were. They were very well represented.
Mr. Chairman, do we need to vote to approve that resolution?
I do. Commissioner Ford has got me all off track, Commissioner. So would you make a motion on that, please? On the proclamation.
I'll make the motion.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Lott, seconded by Commissioner Malone to approve the proclamation. All in favor of this proclamation, say aye when your name's called. Madam Clerk?
White,
Aye.
Edens, Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Aye.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Aye.
Williams,
Yes.
Carragher,
Aye.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
Mcallister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Aye.
Ford,
Yes.
13 yes, 2 absent.
13 yes, 2 absent, and the proclamation passes. All right, next item is the motion to receive and consider the minutes from the June 22nd meeting of the Board of County Commissioners that's been previously mailed to. Do I have a motion?
Motion, Commissioner Mcallister.
Motion made by Commissioner Mcallister,
Second, Carragher.
Second.
second by Commissioner Carragher. Questions or discussion? Seeing none. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
White,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carragher,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
Mcallister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
13 yes, 2 absent.
13 yes, 2 absent, and the minutes are accepted. Our next item is Resolution 200708. It's a resolution confirming the county mayor's appointments to the Washington County Regional Planning Commission. Do I have a motion?
I move we accept this.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Williams, seconded by, was that you, Commissioner? Commissioner Jones. Discussion or questions?
Mr. Chairman, this is Tester. Do we need a second commissioner since Commissioner Mcallister is resigning?
Yes, you will.
Yes, we will need a second commissioner. Are you going to bring somebody back next month on that one, Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that would be the plan.
Okay.
Okay, great, thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Jones, you have a question? Okay. All right. Seeing no questions, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
White,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carragher,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
Mcallister,
I'll abstain.
Wheeler,
So I'm on it.
Yes.
Ford.
Yeah.
12 yes, 1 abstain, 2 absent.
12 yes, 1 abstain, 2 absent, and the resolution passes. Thank you, Commissioner Mcallister, for your continuing service there in a place we vitally need you. All right, the next item is the county mayor's report. Mayor Grandy.
Mr. Chairman, yes, thank you. Just have a couple of quick things tonight for the group. On July 10th, the comptroller officially accepted by a certified copy our fiscal year 2021 budget. And as a note on that, they offered this commendation, which is not always a part of this, but I'd just like to read that if you don't mind. It says that this is from the Comptroller's Office. We commend the elected and appointed officials for adopting the fiscal year 2021 budget before July 1st, 2020. The outstanding work of everyone in Washington County government will assist in better managing the government's finances in the coming year by immediately instituting appropriate budgetary controls. Adopting the budget in a timely manner allows the financial staff more time to close the official accounting records and have those records available for audit by July 31st as required by TCA. So thank you very much to our elected officials, county commission and others, budget committee, who invested many hours to prepare this FY21 budget. This commendation is well deserved, and many thanks. I'd like to also just make a note here that this piece of information comes from the Government Finance Officers Association in a letter dated June 23rd.
Brenda Downs joined the meeting.
And it says, we're pleased to notify you that your comprehensive annual financial report for the fiscal year that ended June 30th, 2019 qualifies for the GFOA Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in government accounting and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by a government and its management. When a Certificate of Achievement is awarded to the government, an award of financial reporting achievement is also presented to the individual designated by the government as primarily responsible for its having earned the certificate. And so today, I'd like for you to join me in congratulating Finance and Budget Director Mitch Meredith for his earning of this achievement. Well deserved. Mr. Chairman, that ends my report. Thank you.
Any questions for the mayor? Seeing that. Mitch, thank you for what a good job you've done with that budget. That award is not given to just everybody. So we want to thank you and recognize you for your hard work.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I would be remiss if I didn't point out that the award wouldn't be possible without all the efforts of first and foremost those folks in the accounts and budget that make sure that all of our numbers are lined up correctly, as well as our purchasing department, our human resources, Michelle over in HR, and all the officials and their budget accounting folks, because it is truly a joint effort, and it's a big wheel with a lot of cogs, and as long as those cogs are in a good shape and things are turning, we can keep on moving. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mitch. All right, our next item is the county attorney's report. Ms. Wilkins.
Good evening. I don't have a prepared report, but I'm available to answer any questions if anyone has any.
All right. Any questions for our attorney? Seeing none, our next item is the director of the health department. Mayor, well, where's our health department director?
Well, she promised me she'd be on board, but I guess there's a lot of stuff going on around that, so I'm not really going to offer a bunch of information on that, but I would be happy to answer any questions that anybody might have individually.
All right. All right. Do you anticipate us having a health department director soon?
She's working on it. Didn't have anybody in house just to move over this time, so the job posting is online, and she is working on getting us a new director. So, but in the meantime, she's on duty, and really over there, they're still doing COVID-19 testing and averaging something like 270 tests a day. And some days that's really been brutal. That's a 6-hour day with a bunch of people standing out there on the top, having those cars run through. So they've really been working hard. It's one of the best tested facilities in the state as far as production and organization. So, I mean, they really do a good job over there.
All right. All right. Well, thank you very much, Mayor. Any questions for the mayor about the health department report? Any follow-up?
Just one. This is Davenport. I just wondered what the average time was to get a test result.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. It ranges anywhere from 3 to 10 days. So it depends on the lab and in some cases who's administering the test. There is a rapid test process that Ballot is using. One of the biggest issues with testing in general is just getting testing supplies. So the reagent is becoming short supply, and there's just a lot of test demand all across the country. So, but these rapid tests are less than 7 hours back, and they have the capacity, as long as they can get the supplies, to do about 50 a day over
there. Thank you.
All right. Susan, is Dr. Flannery with us this evening for the school director of schools report?
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, Commissioner Wheeler.
I'd like to follow up on Commissioner Davenport's question. Mayor, do you know, is there any plan to get or to expand our ability to rapid test? There is. Once again, that rapid test reagent is in short supply, but the answer is yeah. And the plan, according to the Unified Command Group from the governor's office, was in and spoke to Washington County and Sullivan County last week, and that was one of their primary focuses. Was to improve the testing speed, particularly for nursing homes and other large group situations. So yep. But it's, everybody, not only in the country, but in the world, is requesting the same thing right now. And speaking up for small business owners, I think that, if we're going to be in this situation for months and months, we're starting to see, as there's more community spread, situations where employees are perhaps in contact with somebody who is being tested, but that leaves us in a position of not knowing whether to send that employee home when that test result may be 5 to 7 days out, and then of course they would need to be tested. So I think that I'm concerned about the impact that that's going to have on our economy with small businesses if we don't get. So that's the reason I asked that question. I realize that would have to come from the state or federal government to step in and really do much to help with that process. But I'm afraid we're going to have big problems with our small business economy if we don't speed that up. Very, very well said and quite accurate. And it's from what the command group was saying to the folks that were in attendance last week. The intention is not to close business, but try to figure out ways to test through it and to be able to continue to work. So cases continue to rise. Washington County was slightly over 500 as we went into the day, with 98 people admitted to area hospitals. It's not all in Washington County, but as you know, there's in the ballot system, there's 6 facilities that are taking COVID patients. As of this morning, there were 145 staff beds in capacity, and the 98 of them were filled. So As of Friday afternoon, there were 61. So that was a pretty big increase over the weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any further questions for the mayor? Seeing none, Director Flannery is not with us this evening. Our next item is the Employee Compensation and Benefits Committee. Commissioner Mcallister?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You'll find our notes on page 99 here. And tonight we have two resolutions to bring to you. The first one concerns the renewal of the lease for our clinic. It's a 1-year lease. The rent is not going up. It's staying the same as it was last year. So therefore, we're bringing you before to you. The committee is resolution number 200704. 200703, resolution approving renewal of the leased commercial space for the Washington County Health Clinic. Present that to you in form of a motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Mcallister, second by Commissioner Wheeler. Discussion?
Call for question.
Question's been called by Commissioner Ford. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Bly,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carriger,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
Mcallister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
13 yes, 2 absent.
13 yes, 2 absent, and the resolution passes. Commissioner Mcallister?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our second resolution deals with amending our COVID-19 policy that all of you remember when we discussed this several months ago. I think nobody thought this would last this long, but we did. And since then, some of our CDC guidelines have changed. And so we wanted to amend just a little bit our policy. The biggest thing you'll notice is that if an employee wants to self-isolate under our policy, we require them, because of some of the things from the CDC have changed, we're asking them within 14 days to get approval or a letter from their physician saying that they do have or it'd be in their best interest to self-isolate. So that is resolution number 200704, resolution amending the amendment addendum to the COVID-19 to the Washington County, Tennessee-based personnel policy and employee handbook. We bring that to you in the form of a motion.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Mcallister, seconded by Commissioner Lott. Discussion?
I have Ms. Stewart's on here too, and she deals with this on a daily basis. And Michelle, I didn't know if you want to add anything to that while we have you on. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you, Commissioner. Gary summed it up really well. When the policy was passed, I don't think anybody had any indication that this would go on through August 29th. Currently, we have 6 people that are self-isolating. We have 2 offices that are teleworking. And we have, as of today, about 5 employees that are awaiting test results. We have been fortunate, and some people that tested last week already have results, but we do have a couple of people that are taking a little longer. So we're getting guidance from the health department quite frequently on that. But the self-isolation piece is a little of a concern because some elected officials have expressed a concern that they have employees that are going to be out of the office 5 months. What happens if more of their employees fit the guidelines for self-isolation and, just the concerns that they have. So the committee discussed it at the meeting, and no one wanted to do away with the policy altogether. They just wanted to amend it to make sure that those that are on the leave are qualified, and they do have to produce some documentation. In the beginning, that was not a part of the policy. And I'm happy to answer any questions. But I think at this point, we just need some tidying up of the policy because it has gone on for several months now.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Ford.
I have a question for Michelle.
Okay.
Okay.
How does this pertain to the ones that's already self-isolating now?
The ones that are self-isolating now, if this resolution passes, I would contact them in the morning and advise them of the CDC changes. There have been more conditions on the CDC list, but when they redid the list on June the 25th, they have narrowed that down to 7 conditions, and they've also taken off the age requirement. Initially, it was suggested that anyone over 65 be allowed to self-isolate, stay at home, that sort of thing. With these new revisions, they have taken that age out. So I would notify each of them and advise them that they have 14 days to submit the documentation from a medical doctor to me, not to their supervisor, because it does have personal health information on it that certifies they do have one of those conditions to continue self-isolation.
Okay, thank you very much.
Would you like me to tell you what the 7 conditions are?
Yes.
Okay. They are: people of any age with the following health conditions are at increased risk of severe illness from COVID-19: chronic kidney disease, COPD, immunocompromised state from solid organ transplant, obesity over a BMI of 30, serious heart conditions such as heart failure, coronary artery disease, or cardiomyopathies, sickle cell disease, or type 2 diabetes.
Okay. So the age requirement wouldn't pertain to it. Only you had to have one of these 7 conditions.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Do we have anybody out for the age requirement right now? Or not requirement, but that meets the age threshold?
I think we have one that meets the age threshold. There are several that are out that meet the age threshold, but then also have an underlying condition that would have fell under the CDC guidelines.
I think it's a very fair plan and resolution, and I suggest we pass it.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Any further questions or comments?
Call for the question.
All right. Question's been called for. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
White,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carragher,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
Mcallister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
13 yes, 2 absent.
13 yes and 2 absent. The resolution passes. Commissioner Mcallister, do you have anything else for us?
Just, Mr. Chairman, since this is my last meeting, I just want to again thank my fellow commissioners, especially Commissioner Davenport, Commissioner Williams, Commissioner Ford, Commissioner Light. It's been an interesting committee, and even though it's served us before for 6 years, so thank you all, and especially to Miss Michelle Stewart for all her help. It's been amazing. Michelle's been a great job, so thank you all, and all my fellow commissioners for all that. So thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Mcallister, for all your hard work on that committee. You've done a great job as chairman.
Thank you.
All right, our next report is the Health, Education, and Welfare Committee report. Commissioner Edens.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You can find the minutes from the last committee meeting on page 139 in your packet. Happy to try to answer any questions anybody may or may not have. We have one resolution to bring before the commission tonight. That would be resolution number 20-07-05. It's a resolution reappointing members or a member to the Board of Directors of the Washington County Johnson City Animal Control Center. And our committee is recommending that we reappoint Dr. Sarah McLean to this position. I bring it to you in the form of a motion, sir.
Motion made by Commissioner Edens. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Go ahead.
Seconded by Commissioner Ford. Discussion or questions?
Call the question.
Question's been called. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
White,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Yes.
Carragher, Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
Mcallister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
13 yes, 2 absent.
13 yes, 2 absent. The resolution passes. Any further questions for Commissioner Edens? Seeing none, our next item will be the Resell of Land Committee. Mayor Grandy, I heard you were the new chairman of that committee.
Thank you,
Are
Mr.
we
Chair.
open? Wait a minute. Are we passing up environmental court deal?
I don't have I missed that on my,
I guess it was just for information. I'm sorry.
yeah, I don't. All right, Mayor, the Resell of Land Committee.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Resale of land committee met on July 17th, and the minutes are in your packet. There was one item for consideration, and there's a resolution in there for consideration. It's resolution 20-07-11. That's a resolution declaring a piece of property surplus that consists of 2,598 square feet. It's at the back of 206 West Main Street in Jonesboro, which just happens to be the Ag Extension Office, formerly Health Department, and make that available to be sold. So that's the resolution, and it it comes from the committee as a recommendation.
All right. Do we have a motion?
Move for approval.
Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler, seconded by
second.
Commissioner Malone. Were you raising your hand, Commissioner Malone?
I'm agreeable to the second. I was actually saying hi to my neighbor, but
Oh, well, Commissioner Jones got the second if you didn't. So.
let's give it to her. Yeah.
All right, seconded by Commissioner Jones then. All right, we'll open the floor for discussion or questions.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Ford?
Well, this question, I guess, is to the mayor. I'm on that committee, but I have to be sick when that happens. I'm on that committee, and I've talked with Anthony, and I know the big question I have with this is, do we have an agreement on the walnut trees? Now, that's going to be a considerable topic if there's not something in that deal there. Can you explain anything on that, Mayor?
Right. So the walnut trees along the property line of the adjacent property, if you're facing the building to the left, one or two of those walnut trees are on county property, and then there's another walnut tree, or maybe two, that are on the neighbor's property. And if this sale goes through to the adjacent property owner, in his proposal, he is agreeable to allowing the walnut trees that are on his property to be removed.
Okay, that's the biggest question I have because there's been damage to vehicles up there already. I know that for a fact, so I just wondered if make sure we had something in that clause, maybe a clause or something in it to take care of that. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any further questions?
Call for the question.
Questions been called? Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
White,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carriger,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
Mcallister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
13 yes, 2 absent.
13 yes, 2 absent. The resolution passes. Any other questions for the mayor? All right. Seeing none, the next item is the Rules Committee. Commissioner Tester.
Thank you, sir. Our minutes are on page 172, and we pulled the one resolution we had, which was 200709 from the agenda earlier. My apology to everybody for the hiccup on that item. And I don't have anything else unless anybody has a question.
All right. Seeing no questions, thank you, Commissioner Tester. All right, our next item is the Budget Committee report. Commissioner Wheeler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our minutes are on page 183 of your packet and 184 and 190 for the 3 meetings we've had. The first resolution that we have for you tonight is found on page 195 of your packet, resolution number 20-07-06, resolution authorizing the appropriation of funds for the Tennessee Litter and Trash Collection Grant. This comes as a recommendation from the committee.
All right. A motion by Commissioner Wheeler. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Ford. Discussion or questions? Right. Seeing none, questions been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll call the roll, please.
White,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carriger,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
Mcallister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
13 yes, 2 absent.
13 yes, 2 absent, and the resolution passes. Commissioner Wheeler?
Yes, sir. Our next resolution is found on page 197 of your packet, resolution number 20-07-07, a resolution approving health service agreement between the Sheriff's Office and Southern Health Partners, Inc. for inmate health care in the Washington County Detention Center. This comes as a recommendation from the committee.
Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Williams.
Mr. Chairman, I might point out that the committee did not have the contract in front of it at the time we moved to pass it on. We knew the amounts to pass it on to you all, so you may have questions tonight that we will ask the mayor to address.
I think there were some questions. I know I had a question about the. Of course, I can't get up and stop this phone from ringing behind me. But
Join
Mayor,
the meeting.
have we had any movement on this contractual issue with what direction we're headed on our ambulance service provider payment? Or
Mr. Chairman, is that directed to me? I assume it is.
It is, I guess, for Allison one. I don't,
Right.
whoever
Well,
wants to answer.
I just, I have a meeting set this week with Dan to discuss both past and future issues with the transport EMS group. It's not included in this contract, so just as in the past, the obligation is on the county for that service. So as far as considering this contract, while transport is mentioned in the contract a number of times, it's not included in what they will be paying or monitoring.
So I assume we'll be getting something back next month, an agreement with them, EMS on consolidating this ambulance contract, or I mean, if it's something we're not wanting to move forward with in this resolution. I mean,
specifically, it's not part of the contract that's up for consideration tonight, but I agree with you 100%. We really need to get a plan put together with EMS folks for transport, and I think we would be able to have that for next month's meeting.
I'm sure if we need to get that done, Commissioner Wheeler there on the Public Safety Committee could get us something up every next. If you'll work with him, get that up on our agenda next month.
Yes, sir.
That to include the I think there's still a fairly substantial balance for past transports that hasn't been addressed.
Yes, there is. There is. I guess that was my concern about moving forward. You know, as long as we have a plan, to address those costs.
Commissioner Heatherly, can I say something? This is Chief Lightning.
Yes, Chief.
The amount that the back payment that we owe, that has been addressed, and we're just waiting on. I've been trying to work back and forth with Carol on getting that paid, but that back amount will be paid in full. And to address as far as the EMS transport has never been addressed in our inmate health contract. That's always been a separate issue between the county and EMS.
Chief, I agree with you. It's one of our problems is, everybody says that it's not addressed in this contract, but we're just trying to make sure there's a way to address it. So as long as we're approving this contract without it in there, I just want to make sure we do have some form and fashion of paying it going forward, so it don't get out of control like that last one did. And I appreciate all you all have done to try to get through those waters and settle that up. I appreciate that very much.
Well, and then that wasn't any issue between ourselves, the Sheriff's Office, and EMS. We work very well together. That was an issue with QCHC billing and administration. Yeah. So, but we've worked through that, hopefully, and that won't happen again.
We just don't want that issue coming up, and I appreciate all you've done to get that cleared up.
Yes, this is Commissioner Davenport, Chief. Thank you very much for taking care of that. I know it's been an ongoing issue for a long time, so I really appreciate you getting it taken care of. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome, and I hate that it got as bad as it did. We were dealing with a nightmare with QCHC.
I know it's been tough.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Ms. Wilkinson.
Thank you. Just for the benefit of all of you, I know you're interested in this topic, and Chief Lightnin has worked on certain provisions this, and the mayor referenced that there's multiple references to transportation. So I just want to tell you that there is an express provision that makes it clear that the county shall be responsible for the transportation and costs, but there's also a provision that at the county's election, the costs of emergency ambulance transportation can either be billed directly to the county by the provider or placed in the annual cost pool So in conjunction with these discussions that you're contemplating going forward, there is an opportunity for another agreement to dovetail into this one as the county sees in its best interest.
Allison, I'm so glad you brought that up. I'd forgotten when we contracted with SHP before, we did bill, EMS did bill SHP directly, and that worked so much better than the way it has happened in the past. So I appreciate you bringing that up. I totally forgot about that.
You bet. Well, it's a lengthy contract, but I knew that was something you had focused on, so I wanted the commission to have the benefit of it.
Well, it sounds to me like we're in good hands with this subject, and just continue to work on it. We sure hope to find us some agreement here next month that we can vote on and get it cleared up. All right. Is there any other questions or comments?
If I may, I was just curious. I missed the conversation in the budget committee. Is Southern Health Partners, is this a renewal of our existing contract with them, or is this a new provider?
This was a former provider. We were with Southern Health Partners and went to the QCHC and are going back to Southern Health Partners. Isn't that right, Chief?
Yes, sir. You know that old saying, be careful for the devil you wish for? That was kind of our situation here. So.
All right. Thank you.
Greg, would this take care of the situation in your opinion?
I think we're working towards a good agreement here, and I feel sure that we can work something out.
Okay, thank you.
I got the impression that we needed to pass this because it already started July 1st. Am I not correct? And then we'll need to cover in a separate resolution the transporting.
Yes, that's correct. I think some concern I'd heard, as well as mine, was to make sure we had a plan going forward, whether it be within this contract or without. Maybe another solution that the mayor is working on, that we're continuing to work towards remedying this 2-year-old situation. And I think that was mine and a few others concerned. And I think I just wanted to make sure that we were heading the right direction. But as far as this agreement goes, as long as we're working to get that other part settled, that was my only question. We do have a motion second to approve the resolution.
Yeah, call for the question.
The question's been called. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
White,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carriger,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
Mcallister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford. 13 yes, 2 absent.
13 yes, 2 absent. The resolution passes. All right, Commissioner Wheeler.
Our final resolution this evening is resolution number 20-07-10, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into necessary agreements for the lease purchase of computer and telephone system. And that comes in the form of a recommendation from the committee.
Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler. Do we have a second?
I second.
Second by Commissioner Lott to approve the resolution. Discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Ford?
I got a question I'd like to have answered. Is this pertaining to Mayor, is this helping to with bookkeeping procedures as well?
It's a lot of computer equipment over the course of 5 years. So it's really specifically replacing the existing telephone equipment for the most part.
Hey, I just want to make sure it wasn't more computers, because if it was, when we enhanced our system this last time, spent over $500,000. We went back instead of going forward, because employees now they still don't know how many sick hours or how many vacation hours and that stuff they have. And I just wanted to see us do the right thing. If we want to buy more equipment that pertain to that, I wanted to make sure it would have the capability of holding that. Thank you.
Mayor, this is for a county-wide telephone system, correct?
It is, Mr. Chairman, right. And it's really not a bookkeeping function. We're not replacing that system right now.
All right. Any more questions, discussion?
Call for question.
The question's been called. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
White,
Yes.
Edens,
No.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carriger,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
Mcallister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford,
No.
$11 yes, 2 no, 2 absent.
11 yes, 2 no, 2 absent, and the resolution passes. Anything else, Commissioner Wheeler?
No, sir. That concludes our report.
Thank you. Few items of old business is the resignation of Commissioner Gary Mcallister effective July 31st, 2020, creating the vacancy in District 13. We want to thank you, Commissioner Mcallister, for your great service to this community, as well as being such a good friend. And we appreciate all you've done and all you will continue to do for Washington County.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Enjoyed it.
With that being said, I probably would need a motion. Commissioner Wheeler?
Mr. Chairman, it's with great regret that I make this motion, but I also want to say that for the time that I've been on the commission, I really appreciate the opportunity to sit beside Commissioner Mcallister and to serve with him and to learn a great deal from him, to have traveled a little bit to some of the state meetings, and I appreciate the knowledge that he shared in those travels as well. But again, with great regret, I move that we reluctantly accept the resignation of Commissioner Mcallister, that we ask him to continue to support us and give us some guidance from time to time, and that we ask the county attorney to prepare the appropriate resolution under the Tennessee Code for the election of someone from his district and bring that back before us at our next county commission meeting.
All right. Do I have a second?
Second.
Carriger.
Second by Commissioner Carriger. Would anybody like to say anything?
Don't say anything.
All right.
Chairman Matherly, I'd just like to echo what Commissioner Wheeler said. It's been a great pleasure serving with Commissioner Mcallister. We will sorely miss him on this commission.
I'll say the same, echoing everyone else's thoughts. Thank you for all your service, Commissioner Mcallister. We've really enjoyed working with you a lot.
All right.
Chairman, if I might just say also, Gary, you've become a really great friend, and there's some people that you can ask to do things, and never have to really worry about whether they get done or how they'll get done. And I would just say that Gary is one of these people that if he says he's going to do something, he'll do it, and he'll do it with zeal and enthusiasm, and he'll do it with great work and produce a tremendous result. So, Gary, thank you for all you've done for the Commission, for Washington County in general, and we look forward to having you serve in other capacities going forward. Thank you.
Right. You just want to say thanks to everybody. It's been a pleasure. It's been a great time. Now, Mr. Chairman, I want to do something I've never done before. I want to call for the question.
Thank you, Gary. I'm glad you did that. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Light,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
With sadness, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carrier,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
Mcallister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
13 yes, 2 absent.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. 13 yes, 2 absent, and the motion passes. Ms. Wilkinson, if you will
I would like
prepare.
to ask how his replacement, what's going to be the process?
Hang on just a minute, Commissioner Williams. If Ms. Wilkinson, would you prepare the notice that he may be, we may fill his vacancy at next month's meeting?
Yes, sir.
And you can advise us on that as time draws near. Did you have a question, Commissioner Williams? The attorney was going to make notice as to how that will be coming up.
Oh, I was confused because in the previous replacements, it's been done by the commissioner on site. But then I heard the word it will permanently be replaced at the November election. And so that's 2 different things. That's what I was asking for clarification.
Ms. Wilkinson, are you prepared to tell us that tonight, or would you want to consider that? Send us out something.
I think it'd be more efficient for all of you if I sent something that you could take a look over, if that would be agreeable to the commission.
Commissioner Jones?
That's agreeable to me, but I would really appreciate to have that in a, pretty soon timeline, just because it's only a month away and I don't know what actions we need to take or what other people need to do in that 1 month. So the sooner the better.
I feel like it's better to go ahead and announce the vacancy now, and that way we will know when. That'll give people notice, when that's coming up to fill it, if that's what we're intent to do. All right, so Ms. Wilkinson, if you'll send us out something as quickly as possible on that.
Yes, sir.
We sure would appreciate it. All right, our next item is Resolution 2007-12. It's a resolution approving the election of notaries public for appointment and reappointment for Washington County, Tennessee. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Carriger.
Motion made by Commissioner Carriger. Do I have a second? Second made by Commissioner Lott. All those in favor of this motion, answer aye when your name is called by the clerk. Madam Clerk, if you'll call the roll.
Light,
Aye.
Edens,
Aye.
Davenport,
Aye.
Matherly,
Aye.
England,
Aye.
Malone,
Aye.
Williams,
Yes.
Carragher,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Tester,
Aye.
Mcallister,
Aye.
Wheeler,
I will abstain since I'm on the list.
abstain. Ford,
Aye.
12 yes, 1 abstain, 2 absent.
12 yes, 1 abstain, 2 absent, and the resolution passes. All right, under new business this evening, we have Resolution 2007-13. It's a resolution amending the fiscal year budget 2020-2021, the adjustment of budget estimates between sanitation, education, and sheriff to align with the grant that we had previously approved this evening. The reason this falls under new business, Ms. Wilkinson, can you kind of explain that to the commission as to why it would fall in a separate category?
I'm happy to. Earlier tonight, you had the resolution authorizing the appropriation of funds for the Tennessee Litter and Trash Grant. That is Resolution 200706. That was approved by the Budget Committee, and after that, Director Meredith circulated a budget memo, which you have attached to this proposed resolution that had budget amendments in it. But those issues were not put forward in Budget Committee, so I think he's on the call to address any questions on that. But procedurally, it was not put forward in budget and was not part of that grant discussion, so it's separate here for your consideration.
Since budget did not consider it, I felt like it might be more proper to suspend the rule since it's not been considered by budget, and that's why it's in a separate new business category.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to suspend the rules then to approve this.
We have a motion to suspend the rule. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Light. Like I said, again, this is just to budget the money from the grant to put in the line items is what this is.
Right.
All right. We have a motion and second to suspend the rule. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll on suspending the rule?
White,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carragher,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
Mcallister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
13 yes, 2 absent.
13 yes and 2 absent. The rules are suspended. Now we are here to consider Resolution 2007-13 that I talked with you about budgeting the grant money into the proper line items. Did I have a motion for that?
So
Make
moved.
the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Carragher, seconded by Commissioner Wheeler. Discussion or questions?
Call for the question.
Questions been called. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
White,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carragher,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
Mcallister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
13 yes, 2 absent.
13 yes and 2 absent. The resolution passes. All right, the next question for you is, for all of you, is our committee meetings coming up. Jerry wanted to make sure that we had a proper notice. So will these meetings be on Zoom, or will we attempt to have some in person? I would rather be on Zoom. Is there,
If it's okay,
Commissioner Jones?
myself. Is it okay for me to speak, Chairman?
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry, that was super fumbling. I wanted to tell everybody who's using a desktop computer or laptop that you can unmute yourself by holding down the space bar, and as long as you hold it down, you are unmuted, which is very handy in the voting process. But I also, more importantly, wanted to comment on some concerns I have that relate to this issue about Zoom meetings or in-person meetings, or what are we doing? And that issue will need to be resolved regardless. My comments are broader than that, but they relate to that. And I would love to hear other commissioners' thoughts on about to say. I know that this whole pandemic has been incredibly disruptive to everyone's life, personal life, professional lives. We've all had to step away at times from commitments to do other things. And it's been incredibly disruptive to the way that we normally interact and the way that we normally get information in making decisions and the way that we do positive things and positive work together. It, I think, has hurt, not literally, but like it's decreased our ability to build rapport and have fellowship with one another in meetings. And I think we're just getting started. I worry that, I think in the beginning, we all felt like this was kind of a short-term situation. We were going to kind of feel our way. And of course we were kind of feeling our way in the dark through, like, oh, let's have some meetings. Let's don't have other meetings that aren't really essential business. And what is essential business? And we're just going to kind of do the bare bones minimum for a while, just to kind of get some major decisions made. The budget was an obvious one. We're getting to a place, though, where I think our work is really being stymied or stalled out. I think even in important areas that we had set in motion, and I don't have any particular. I don't blame anyone in particular. This has been so difficult to navigate in every facet of community life. I don't have even really great ideas. But for example, I had hoped to provide a quarterly update tonight, or at least hear quarterly updates tonight about our commission objectives. Obviously, we haven't crushed it on making gains on those 3 objectives because we're dealing with a pandemic. But we can still communicate about it. We can still try to coordinate on those 3 topics. I know water in particular came up during our budget meetings, and I think all of us are eager to hear what's up with things and discuss those things. I personally have made some progress in the communications area and would love to provide updates on that, and etc. Another area that is moving forward is the Jonesboro School Project, and Mayor Grandy and I have been sitting on those committee meetings, and we have updates on that material as well. We haven't heard from local health experts or emergency management. I realized someone was on the agenda for tonight, but the pandemic is worsening in our area, and I would love to have those kinds of updates on a regular basis again in some form or fashion. We have a mask mandate that ends in a week or 2, and have the opportunity to support our mayor in making decisions around that, but no opportunity to discuss it. And the list kind of keeps going, but I'll sort of stop there. I just really feel like all of us need step up leadership in terms of improved communication and engagement. And whether it's in-person meetings or in Zoom meetings, I think committee meetings need to be held, even if there's not a lot of business. I don't know that anyone knows what is essential and non-essential, but increased communication seems really essential right now as we have kind of slowed down a lot, and I feel like have lost some ground in our work. And that's all I have to say, but I would like to hear other people's thoughts.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Edens?
I'm probably in a minority, but I'm for meeting face to face like we used to. I'm for meeting that way in committee and full commission.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner.
I agree with Commissioner Edens. I think there's much value. I can't believe we couldn't find a place that we could socially distance for our committees. I think we move forward with more confidence of making good decisions in person rather than Zooming it.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Tester here. I'm comfortable with meeting in person too.
All right. Mr. Wheeler?
Mr. Chairman, I'm comfortable meeting either way. And I think I'd like to ask that the attorney and the mayor look at the idea of whether there are options where we can meet in person, where if someone's uncomfortable, they can participate by Zoom. And I think the order may allow for that. But I'm also concerned about the idea that items would not be coming forward on our agenda because someone else has decided they're not essential. And my understanding from the governor's order is that the body that is meeting is the one that decides what is essential and what is not. So whether that be the commission, the planning commission, a committee, and I'd like to make sure that I'm correct on that. Ms. Wilkinson, is that your understanding that the body is the one that votes on whether something's essential or not?
That's correct, that at the start of the meeting, the body does make a determination that all the agenda items are essential business.
And so I would want to make sure that nobody's removing agenda items as being non-essential without this body voting on it. Likewise,
well,
if the rule, if one of our rules suggests that we not take up an action, but it's in conflict because it also says that action should be taken up, this body should make the decision how we handle that rule, not anyone else, in my opinion. That should be on the agenda, and this body should make the decision how we handle that rule and any conflicts within the rule. So those two things I'd like to put out. If this may go on for a year that we have to meet like this, and if we can't move forward with the business of the county, it is essential. It's essential that we, that we follow the rules and that we get things done we're supposed to do in a timely fashion, just like we did the budget. And we're going to have to take up some things in uncomfortable ways and find ways to do them. And if it means meeting in person, then I'd be in favor of meeting in person to get it done.
Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Ford?
Yeah, I'd just like to say I concur both ways really in a way, but I'd prefer if it's any way possible to meet in open meetings, but I also realize what we're facing too, and we got to do what we got to do to move on. So I'll just leave my part at that. Thank you.
Well, Commissioner Malone?
Well, just I'll echo, I guess, what I've heard, that I'm agreeable either way. I mean, I'm comfortable wearing a mask, and we can meet in person if that's what is decided, or I'm agreeable to meet like this. I am concerned, to kind of echo, I guess, Commissioner Wheeler's comments. I am concerned about the thought process of delaying things or perpetually putting things off because we decide, well, they're not essential. For example, I think our rules call or that we should have had the committee on committees vote tonight, and I understand that was challenging doing it in this format. But I just worry about that and other things that we may say, well, it's challenging to do in this format, but if we're going to meet in this format, we've got to figure out a way to get business done. For, many of us early on thought, and it's already been said tonight, but thought that this wouldn't last maybe a couple months, and it doesn't seem to be letting go. And I feel like we've been running in place kind of on autopilot, and that can't continue indefinitely.
Anyone else? Well, let me explain a few things. Been brought up here tonight. As far as public hearings go, no, I've not figured out how to do that, and that's part of your full meeting. I don't know how. As far as the committee on committee goes, I don't know how you sign your ballot and turn it in to the clerk. I don't know how. Some things I want to make sure is legally right when we do them. I don't want there to be any issue of no public hearing, or we didn't do it this way, or we didn't do it that way. And that's what the county attorney is for. So on a lot of these issues, I counsel with the attorney. That's what we pay her for. So if there's any problem with anybody not putting something on the agenda, that falls back to me. I've tried to make the best decisions that I could with the information that I had to bring you an agenda that you could vote with. It's just like tonight. We really couldn't bring rezonings unless we come up with some kind of plan to have some kind of public hearing for rezonings. I commend the mayor's office and the attorney and Susan for working that out and let's trying it. But this is a 24/7 job anymore. And I appreciate anybody's input. I'll be happy to meet in person or away. It's actually easier to meet in person. I just still hadn't figured that public hearing out yet, how that looks. So send me your ideas. Let the attorney know. I'm all in for whatever you want to do.
Yeah, and I'll chime in here. I guess early on, I was, like it's been said, I thought we were dealing with just a few months, but I think you're right. We got to figure out a way to push forward, and no matter if it's online meetings or us getting together, but we've got to push forward, and that comes to me. I'm the chairman of our water task force, and I put off because of everything going on. But who knows when this is going to end? So we've got to find a way to push forward. And I know that's what I'll do, and I know that's what the rest of the commissioners on here will do.
Can we explore physical places other than if we need to move our meetings to another place as far as committees or is what I'm thinking of? Is the courthouse the best place, or is there another place nearby that would serve us?
I'm not sure. I would have to research some into that. Of course, I would want each one of those committees broadcast. That would be something important, and we'd have to work that out with Tim. So that would be some things that we'd have to work out with him, seeing if he could meet. I mean, it's a full day in several different locations. So we just have to kind of work that out with him. But I'll be happy to do that.
Is that question, Commissioner Williams, getting at particularly for committee meetings, a bigger, and well, I guess this could apply to full commission meetings, a bigger space where we can spread out more and be able to have a good 6 feet between people.
Yeah, I think it would be hard to have the social distancing in that little conference room if we allow visitors or public or whatever. You'll have to just see if you can figure it out logistically.
One of the things that has been very hard for me to work on is the fact that, just because this is broadcast and people see you, the other requirement is they must hear you. And that's been very, very difficult to work on at times. And speaking with Allison, I don't think we've been meeting the muster on that as well. They've been doing a lot of work on our sound system. Hopefully they'll be able to, move us past some of that. So that's another requirement too that we're brought under to meet. If they can't hear, it's really no good to broadcast.
Mr. Chairman, if I could offer one reminder when you're thinking about this, that this body is able to meet electronically because of the governor's executive orders that have allowed electronic participation by each of you as commissioners. The current order is set to expire August 29. And so I'm not suggesting that it wouldn't be extended. I think that this is the third order addressing that, but you are looking at a 1 month window right now that you have the ability to participate electronically, and that participation is for you as members. That's what the order addresses. And then I know all of you are committed to transparency and allowing the public access, and that's what the chairman was touching on, is making sure that citizens, individuals have access to the deliberations, whether it's streamed on Zoom or they're present in the room, or it's on the YouTube channel in lieu of being able to be present. So right now, if you would keep in mind that order is in place until August 29th, and then perhaps the governor will extend it further. But first and foremost, that is a way that you're able to have a compliance with the Open Meetings Act and ensure that transparency while being able to participate electronically. As you know, that's normally not allowed for local government. Thank you.
Thank you, Allison.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to say my comments earlier were not intended to be directed at you, and I apologize to the extent that was taken that way. But no. I just want to emphasize that if things come to you to be put on the agenda, you are the chairman of the commission. I consider that coming to the commission. But for somebody to suggest to you that something's not essential, that is where I think it's got to come to you for you to make that initial decision whether it goes on our agenda or not. But you in turn are looking at your commission and know sort of the way we're all operating. My concern is that I'm worried that with this COVID situation and the issues that come up with the logistics of putting meetings together, I talk to you frequently about that. I think you have the hardest job of any of the commissioners here, and the staff I know is trying to work to support you on that. But I'm just concerned about making sure we get things done and can keep things rolling. And I did not intend to put that all on you, and I apologize.
No, that's I didn't take it that way, Commissioner Wheeler. I think the frustration that you hear in my voice some days is the same frustration that Commissioner Jones thinks in her mind here tonight. This is very frustrating meeting this way. It's 100 times easier to meet in person. I mean, staff, mayor, all. It's so much easier to meet in person. Commissioner Tester, when he first came on this commission, he talked about a public hearing. And I give Commissioner Tester, he was the public hearing commissioner. And he brought that with him when he was first elected. And it took some time to get that done. But, I think that has brought something to our commission. I think it's an important part of the public's interjection into our commission. And so, I missed that part of it, of having the people in our meeting. So, and it seems like everything we go to do, it's just like committee on committees. We're behind. Well, who's going to appoint committees next month? We get behind each meeting, and I don't know how to conduct those elections. If I go by the rules, if I follow the rules, it don't work. And I have spent some time with some smart people this week to try to answer those questions for me, and they still don't have those. And I don't either. So I don't claim to have all the answers, but I sure would like to hear some. But we are behind, Commissioner Jones, and we're behind again today. So.
Chairman, I hope you heard me say, I think we all need to take responsibility for continuing to keep the work going. And that I said we need, increased leadership on everyone's behalf. And if you need to have a little brainstorming session or whatever you need, just let us know. We're here to support you.
I think the mayor and his staff have done a lot, just like his public hearing we've done with rezoning tonight. There was an opportunity not to do that because we couldn't have a public hearing. So those are just some of the things I commend the mayor and his staff, especially Susan Allison, for getting that done. Angie Charles, who redone the notices and got that out. So we're learning. I mean, we're learning each meeting, but the learning curve is steep and slow. So that's kind of where we are, really. But we still need to talk about our meetings coming up. It sounds like everybody is in the mood to meet in person for these committee meetings. If I take that right from this commission. I don't, or meeting in person with the videographer there. I don't know. And socially distancing and having the videographer there to broadcast the meetings. I don't know what's best.
I thought we just broadcast the full commission meeting. Have you gone to doing the committees too, Greg?
Well, we would have to if there was no public access to those. Those are public meetings that are advertised to the public. We would have to advertise those and transmit or broadcast those some way.
Well, I just think if anybody wants to come to a committee meeting, let them come. Wear their mask.
Chairman, this is Commissioner Tester. Since you mentioned the public comment thing earlier, and well, first of all, I want to thank you and everybody else that's put in effort on trying to figure out how to make these meetings work. You've got a really tough job, and I, for one, appreciate it, to echo that being said earlier. But I guess that's been one of my biggest concerns as we've been going through this for the last several months is the public's access to the meetings, or just the ease that they can
Thank you, Commissioner. And I agree with you as far as people, if they want to come, but how do I manage social distancing in a, I don't know how many people's coming, number one. I mean, there's different issues. I may have 100 people, and I don't have seating for them. I don't know how that goes.
Yeah, that question was discussed a little bit at the rules meeting last time, or right after we adjourned anyway, because the question was if we were having those meetings in that committee room and we were doing every seats that are 6 feet apart, then how many people does that get in there? And what happens if more than that number of people show up?
Yeah, I mean, it's, and you have to provide. I mean, I had a meeting one time where we couldn't seat everybody, and not everybody could hear, and we had to reschedule it. So I learned from that meeting that you have to have appropriate hearing and appropriate places to have people seated.
Yeah, I think I remember the situation you're talking about pretty well.
I mean, this is, I don't know that we'll come up with an answer tonight, but maybe what we could do is have a special call meeting in the next week or so, and everybody put their input in on how we could meet. And the biggest problem that we can have is for people to make a decision and people just knock the decision. Don't knock the decision unless you have a better idea. Because it's easy to sit in the back row and say, this is a bad idea. We need to make a commitment to each other and to ourselves to support each other. And let's push our way through this with ideas and not just sit back before, challenge ourselves before we knock the idea or say, this is not right. Have an idea in your back pocket that makes it better. And now I'll get off my soapbox.
Well, I think there are two spaces down in Jonesboro that could be under consideration during the day, because we can't go to the courthouse. We could go to the visitor center in that big room where we've had some state conference deals, or we could go to maybe storytelling. Anyway, there's spaces there that we could spread out.
After the election, I would think we'd also potentially have that space that we've got up there where early voting's going on. We've got it at least for the whole year.
Yeah. That's an idea. Well, let's turn it over to our chairman and let's get out of here.
Just remember, wherever we move to, we must have proper audio. And our audio's got to go. All that has to move. The public has to hear. So audio, video, wherever we're going with no participants, it's going with us. So it doesn't matter where we meet, all those things have to come. Oh. And I guess I'll go back to my start of this question. Are we Zooming? Are we not? For the committee meetings.
Mr. Chairman, for my part, I'd rather meet in person.
Why don't I leave it up to the committee? Why don't I leave it up to the committee chairmen? Do it that way.
I think that works well.
Any objection to that? If each committee chairman will do what?
I'm for meeting in person.
All right.
I am too.
Well, if
You don't have.
if each committee chairman will get with Sherry and let her know how they're going to meet by in the morning. That way she can send out the notice.
She with us tonight?
Sherry, are you still? Yeah, Sherry's on here.
The U committee will be meeting in person as long as I'm the chair.
You committee in person?
Yes.
Okay.
Rules is in person too.
Okay.
DIA in person.
Got it.
Public safety in person.
Okay.
Public Works to be in person.
Okay.
Employee compensation will be without their chair.
Who is the vice chairman?
I'm not sure.
Commissioner Light.
Yes.
Commissioner Light, you're the vice chairman. And,
We'll meet in person.
okay.
I'm not sure about purchasing, but I can check with Willie to see if they need a meeting. You want to do that one in person also if they do?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's it.
All right. Thank you, Sherry. And our next month commission agenda is Thursday, August the 13th, 2020 at 12 o'clock. That'll be the cutoff. So we'll probably have a big agenda next month. So looking forward to that. All right. Any other questions or comments or anything before we go? All right.
You did a great job.
Thank you, Steve. Is that a motion to adjourn? All right. Motion to adjourn by Commissioner Carragher, seconded by Commissioner Light. I'll put that on you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, if you'll call the roll to adjourn.
White,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carragher,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
Mcallister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
13 yes, 2 absent.
All right. And that motion passes and we're adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you all.
Good night,
See
y'all.
you later.
Hey.